It's Master Mode time. I introduced it in video 1, but I feel like it needs restating. Master Mode is a series of workshop campaigns that went, what if the challenge mode had a challenge mode? That needs to be said because Serenity Valley, World 5 Master Mode, pulls no punches and was designed to be brutally hard. Let's begin. 5-01 Brake Pad. We start with a good one. I say that because I designed this level, and just love the idea of bouncing a semi-truck backwards. Oh yeah, I did mention I was a beta tester, right? 5-01 Master Mode. So we lost the use of our springs, and that blimp makes our ramp awkward, but that can't stop this semi-truck. This other ramp will. 5-02 Sorting. Everyone has to stop in the middle. That's okay though, because there's plenty of room to go up and over the limo taxi combo sandwich. 5-02 Master Mode. The middle of the bridge can no longer be our parking spot, so we have to find somewhere else to store the taxi and compact car. So yeah, this went from mild to wild in no time flat. Our left parking spot is rather special, actually. I erroneously figured it'd be easier to move the taxi out of the way and place it into a parking spot, then reuse the shuttle rather than do anything else, because this is one of the most complicated solutions in the gallery. That's going to be a theme going forward. (5-03) Springboard. Shades runs headfirst into the most absurd speed bump. Boing. (5-03) Master Mode. All board, no springs. I'm sensing a pattern here. But at least we have enough boards to make a counterweight, but there's a trick to this. This is what I mean by World 5 Master Mode being designed to be hard. You have to know that stuff falls slower in water. Without submerging the counterweights, it's very easy to lift the bridge so fast that it breaks itself apart when Shades gets to the top. 5-04 Leverage. We have to make a hydraulic solution without any hydraulics. Sound like someone we're familiar with? A lot of people cheese this level by dodging around the plane's hitbox. I just had the dump truck act as my hydraulic. 5-04 Master Mode. The first time I solved this, rather than try and deal with dodging the two different planes that blast right through the middle of this bridge, I created a comically oversized, and over budget, grasshopper linkage. This was the first of several levels that stumped me for quite some time, and I just left it as an over budget disaster for future me to figure out later. Well, future me is now past me, and past me figured it out. When I came back to beat this level properly, I made a trapdoor with a bistable latch, I might add. I'll explain what that means a little later. And took some suggestions from the gallery by dropping the roads out of the way and into place as I needed them. 5-05 Truckway In. The true budget cuts level. 50k to transport 3 heavy cars, dodge a boat, and a plane. And get some very wonky hydraulics to click. It's a lot harder than it looks. (5-05 Master Mode. There are way more planes and boats, and the flatbed truck's platform is gone! On the low budget level! This janky level just got worse. I honestly have no idea how I managed to get to stand up, but it does! (5-06 Spring and a Miss. We've had weight-based sorters, so now it's time for weight-based switches. This is what we in the business call a bistable mechanism. It has 2 positions it's stable in, and a small amount of movement will bring it back to one of the 2 stable positions. It only toggles from one stable position to the other when something heavy enough to compress the spring drives over it. (5-06 Master Mode. Throw logic to the wind here. This feels more like an original level than a remake. The flag order makes no sense, the vehicle choice is bizarre, and we don't even do anything clever with the springs here. This level is just straight up a weird sorting challenge where the sorter has to ignore the compact car and only sort semis. 5-07, Trading Places. Straight across one way, but swapping on the way back. We can make the cars scrape their bottoms to slow them down so they jump the gaps at different speeds. This allows us to control their speed depending on which way they are going for a very simple solve. (5-07) Master Mode. The cars are going to the same places, but we now have a plane, checkpoints, and are banned from springs. Again. Yep, that's definitely the theme of this world. A whole bunch of tweaking and cursing the butterfly effect later, I got this to work. Don't ask how it doesn't break, I have no idea. It's stressed at 99.4% somewhere in this mess. (5-08) Passing by. The dump truck will block the buggy's flat, but not if we put the dump in a hole first, and then jump the buggy over it. 5-08 Master Mode. There's bonus buggies and compact cars, and it's a real cluster truck getting everyone where they need to go without having the bridge smash itself to pieces. I just turned the bridge into a spring banana and rolled the dice with RNG. Eventually, I got a solve where it all just worked out. I am not very proud of this bridge. (5-09) Falling into place. We have springs, split joints, hydraulic phases, and the hydraulic controller, but no hydraulics. The limited roads means our bridge needs to fall into place to reuse the roads. Or in my case, the cars fall, and the bridge stays mostly put. (5-09) Master Mode. I solved this level wrong. You may ask, how is that possible? Aren't there many ways to beat a level? Isn't any unique way of solving a level the correct way to solve it? Well, this level was designed with you using a trapdoor to unlock a mechanical latch that would lift the road so the tow truck could grab its star, since you are limited on roads, don't have any hydraulics, and the checkpoint stars are placed so you cannot collect them from the same bridge. I couldn't figure any of that out on my first go-around, so I did something considerably more complicated. I lift the Model T and wedge the new bit of bridge into place with a ground wedge, which all the cars then drive on, saving me a road. The slightly heavier van bumps into the final ramp, lowering it, and unceremoniously falls to its flag. The tow truck drives over a carefully designed spring gap that kicks its tow hitch out just enough to grab the checkpoint and put another win in my books. A trucking brutal level if you do not know what the intended solution is. 5-10 in suspense. We are finally emulating real-life bridges and building a large tower suspension bridge. Or we can do whatever the heck I did. 5-10 Master Mode. I have no idea what real-life bridge this is meant to replicate, so I just made a big-ass ramp and a spring net to catch this disaster tanker. Oh yeah, I should mention, there's no steel. Get your wood muscles ready. (5-11) All together now. All together now. All together now. As the name implies, we gotta make 3 lifts powered with 1 hydraulic. So with some clever split joint shenanigans and a lucky bounce, I cheesed it. 5-11 Master Mode. I took one look at this the first time and went, no, I don't feel like making a crawler today. I'm very bad at making those. but I came back, sat down, and worked out a mechanism to independently walk or lift the roads. I couldn't tell you what all the different linkages do now since the color codes are not there anymore, but I got it to work. Mostly. I didn't anticipate the Model T getting in the way, so rather than redesign my walker, I just made the roads get out of the way. Modern problems require modern solutions. 5-12. Getting loopy. You could make a loop-de-loop, but that's boring. Let's ride this thing instead. (5-12) Master Mode. I made this solve when I first encountered this level. However, I did not anticipate the car never turning back on, so it makes a rather painfully slow roll down the ramp to the flag. I was going to need to shift my thinking, hint hint, wink wink, to make this work under budget. So I came back to this 1 week later and shifted the spinny bit over to the anchor so it wouldn't need a large support truss. Even with a lot of materials removed, the budget is incredibly tight on this one, and it just barely holds itself together long enough for the buggy to reach the flag. (5-13) Crash Course. With a name like this, you'd think they'd be faster, but no, these buses are on a very, very slow collision course. My bad, collision course is the name of a different level. They're on a very, very slow crash course. (5-13) Master Mode. Yeah, there's no way to smoothly make this work under budget. My last name isn't Campling. You're not going to get a pretty solve out of me. Even if I could make the linear elevators, trapdoors, mechanical switches, or locks, there's no way I'm going to do it under budget. Heck, I didn't even get the bisteel mechanism I used on this level to work properly. There are a few clever things going on here though. The lower right buses go on their own dedicated underpath, while the lower left bus goes to the middle. Once they reach the end, they trip off a one-way latch, releasing the upper right bus. It also takes the middle path and hits the second one-way latch, releasing the final bus. This one unceremoniously lands on its face and wiggles its way back onto all sixes so it can reach the flag. (5-14) Bus Routes. Fairly straightforward level, but we use the hydraulics to direct where the buses go as they travel back and forth across the towers. (5-14) Master Mode. Straightforward no longer. This level is a handful to manage. The buses meet in the middle, then the buggies trade sides. Then the buses go back, but to a different height, and the buggies trade sides again. The buggies are now out of the picture, don't worry about them. Now the buses need to trade sides. It's simple when I say it like that, but managing all 3 layers of this bridge and keeping it from snapping under the static weight of 4 vehicles totaling 34 polygrams is not an easy task. (5-15) Acceleration. While the buggies are all the same, the ones farther back have more time to build up speed, so I just unleashed this chaotic mess of springs and hoped I could pull a Pokemon and catch them all. (5-15) Master Mode. There's a lot going on, so we're going to take this at half speed. The checkpoints have been flipped, putting the fastest buggy on the bottom. Buggy number 1 hits a ramp, which is actually, surprise surprise, a bi-stale mechanism that lets the other buggies into the bottom area. Buggy 2 takes a small jump and gets redirected up onto its checkpoint, while Buggy 3, having the most speed, overshoots the redirect only to hit a different spring catch that bounces it into its checkpoint. Okay, everyone got that? Now let's look at it at normal speed. (5-16) Double Duty. Break out the linkage handbook because we need to make that singular hydraulic work double duty by pulling the left side out of the way of the boat and lifting the cars up on the right side. (5-16) Mashed mode. Looks can be deceiving on this one. While my mechanism looks simple, actually a lot simpler than some of the other stuff I've shown off in this world, a lot of hours went into making it work within the budget, which if you notice I'm just barely under. The peculiar way my road is tipped down is to adjust the stopping position of the van so he parks in a better spot, at the cost of simulation time. So yes, the final level of World 5 was solved with a basic 90-degree rotation and a whole lot of counterweights. You know the drill now. I have something in 1-13 Master Mode to show you. I've beat this level so many times at this point, I just decided to have a little fun with unlimited materials. So while this plays out, I need to actually talk about some stuff with the Master Mode series. No, it's not over, but there's going to be a break. I've actually played nearly all the Master Mode levels on Twitch half a year ago, but never thought to record any of them. It was after I had beaten most of the bridges, people expressed interest in seeing my solutions. So I created this Abridged series, get it? Abridged, to show off the levels in a fun way. However, I only have the first few levels of World 6 Master Mode solved, so I'm not going to have a video ready for a while, as apparently World 6 is even harder. If you're itching for more Master Mode content, I will be working my way through World 6 on Twitch at twitch.tv/lazycomet, or you can subscribe so you know in like 4 months when I upload the next video. I'd like to end by thanking everyone who's worked on the Master Mode project, as this series wouldn't exist without it. Thank you to Hailstorm and Masonator Roblox, the brains behind the Master Mode idea, and the sole creators behind Worlds 1, 2, 3, and 4. Special thanks to the World 5 team. Hazel, Mason, Tony Z 1234, Kirby Kid, Celestial, Slothy Butt, Smithy, Supernai, APG 107, and Palfly. You're all a bunch of sadists. You know that, right? Thank you all for making these levels. I'll see you in World 6. Later!